Hey, good morning, Mrs. Peterson. Oh, geez. Whoa, Mrs. Peterson, when my towel fell off, it was an accident. Yeah, I'm just gonna... I'd put some ointment on that if I were you. I'm just gonna have a good morning. Geez. Oh, still not clean. Still not clean. Whew. Anyway, so in previous unboxing videos, I've talked about that I'm really gearing up my family towards, you know, working with pieds and pied morphs, and what's in this box is going to be instrumental in that. So I'm going to cut this baby open. I'm really excited to see what's in this thing. So let's go cut this open right now. Here we go. All right. So guys, this package comes from Eric Davis at Hypnotic Morphs. Check that out. Thanks, Dave. I love it, man. Thank you, Eric. All right, let's check this guy out. Packed very well with fake Santa snow. All right, guys, here we go. Let's take a look at this little dude. Oh, man. So guys, take a look at this. This is a pastel inchy pied. And what the inchy gene does when you mix it with pied is that it creates a low white pied with a really funky pattern. And to add pastel into that, man, this baby just pops. Look at this. Whoa, Eric, I am so pleased with this guy. Thank you so much. Look at this low white and this really funky pattern. And that's what you get when you add inchy to a pied. Is you get a low white pattern with this really funky pattern here. It's so cool. So this guy is instrumental in the morphs that I want to create in the family here. This is one lucky guy because he's going on a lot of females when he's ready. So he's gonna go on an axanthic, and I'm gonna make inchy, pastel, double het axanthic pieds, and then those offspring will be lightning pieds that are inchy, and possible, if I get lucky, super pastel, inchy, axanthic pieds. He's also gonna go on an inchy het pied female that I have to make super inchy pastel pieds, and he's also gonna go on a fire yellow belly het pied that I have, and whatever else I put him to. But with a fire yellow belly het pied to this guy, we're gonna get inchy, pastel, fire pumpkin pieds. So I'm gonna let him get acclimated right now, and then in a couple of days I'll try to offer him a meal and see if he wants to eat, see if he's acclimated to the new barometric pressures that are here, the new temperatures that he's probably not used to in his other home. However, he just came from the state next to me, Wisconsin. So the barometric pressure and the temperature is not gonna be at all different here in Minnesota. But I'm still gonna quarantine him, and I'm still gonna let him take what time he needs to acclimate to his new surroundings here. So after I set him up in quarantine, I've got a couple of pastels from this year that just aren't getting how to eat. And that happens kind of frequently with babies, especially baby ball pythons. Hognoses are kind of like this too, but especially with baby ball pythons, you gotta kind of teach them that the little food item that you put in there with them is not a cuddle buddy. That is actually food, and sometimes you have to train them how to eat, and it's actually pretty simple. So I have a couple of pastels here who really should be eating by this time. They are about 3 to 4 weeks old. All the yolk that they have in their bellies when they hatched from their eggs, that should long be absorbed, and they should be looking around for a meal. And sometimes when you have baby ball pythons like this, you have to teach them how to eat. You have to teach them that the rodent you're offering them is actually food, not some cuddle companion as these guys may sometimes think that they are. So here's what you do, and it's pretty simple. What you're doing is you're putting your thumb right behind his head here, and your index finger here, and the rest of his body, as much as it'll fit, very loosely in your fingers. This is all about finesse. All right, guys, then you take the rodent, and with the nose of the rodent, you gently lift up on its upper jaw. And eventually, he's gonna open his jaw altogether. This one's being a bit stubborn. Once you have the jaw open like that, just very, very gently, just kind of work the head of the rodent past the gullet. So once you have the mouse in the snake's mouth like this, all you need to do is hold him upside down like this. And eventually what he's going to do is he's going to try to right himself. And as he does that, he's going to realize that he's eating, and that what you just stuck in his mouth is actually food. And then you just sit here and, well, kind of let him do his thing for a while until he starts chewing. So there he goes. So now at this point, he's realized that what you've just given him is food. And he's gonna sit here and he's going to eat that. And you gotta wait till he's about halfway done with it before you set him down and let him finish on his own. So after this, he's probably going to eat on his own from here on in. But this was his first meal, and it's that simple to get ball pythons to eat. Alright guys, so this is another pastel in this clutch that doesn't yet realize that rodents aren't cuddle buddies. They're food. So we're gonna do the exact same thing with her as I did with the last one. So you just take them very gently, hold them right behind the head like that. The rest of their body is just sitting in my hand. I'm not squeezing with my hand, but I'm holding her in place because she is gonna fight me because she's not gonna understand what's going on here in a second. So you take the food item, and with the nose of the food item, you just pop, open her mouth very gently. And then what you do is you just hold it there for a little bit, maybe gently close her mouth on it so that the teeth that are curved inwards will start to hold that. And then you just hold her up by her tail like this. So eventually she's going to realize, as she tries to right herself here, that what you just put in her mouth is actual food. That's what she should be eating. Again, ball pythons are not the most brilliant snakes in the world, but we love them anyway. But see, now look at her. Now she's starting to chew. Now she's starting to work that rodent down as she should be. Now she's working it down. Now she's actually eating on her own. She figured out that this is food. But feeding baby ball pythons doesn't need to be anything that's frightening. It doesn't need to be scary. You don't need to be trepidatious about a ball python that won't eat. Ball pythons are notorious for not eating, especially babies. So again, I'm gonna wait until she's about halfway done with it, and then I'm gonna put her back in her deli cup so that she can finish it on her own. But with a little finesse and a little know-how and a little practice, you can get them to eat just like this. It's pretty easy. Alright guys, so this little girl has just had her first meal through assist feeding, not force feeding. There is a world of difference between assist feeding, what I just did, and force feeding. You should never force feed your snakes. Let me say that again. You should never force feed your snakes. Assist feed. You're teaching the snake what food is and how to eat. Go on, little girl. And if you notice, I'm not handling her right after she's just fed. That's why I have her in this deli cup. I don't want her to get too stressed out and regurge that rodent. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna set her back up in her little baby rack there, and she's gonna sit on that heat for a couple of days and digest that first meal, aren't you? But again, guys, it is so important not to force feed, but to assist feed, and that's what I've just done. So anyway guys, comment below if you have any questions on how to do this, if you have any other, forms that you guys use and methods that you guys use to assist feed your ball pythons that might not just get how to eat yet. And again, it's kind of silly to think that you have to really train these guys how to eat and what food is, but out of all the ball pythons and hognose snakes and corn snakes and bull snakes and whatever else I produce here, hognose snakes are notorious for not eating, and so are ball pythons. But if you know what you're doing, you have a little bit of finesse, you have a little bit of know-how and a little bit of care, a baby ball python that isn't eating really is no big deal. So anyway guys, again, I'm gonna set her up. Comment below, let me know what kind of methods you guys use for assist feeding your snakes, and hopefully other watchers of this video will be able to learn from your experiences. Hopefully they just learned from mine. So anyway guys, until the next adventure, love the planet, keep your life in balance, and rattle on.